Measuring a nation's income. As we already studied, the microeconomics is a study of how individual households and firms make decisions, interact with one another in the markets. Macroeconomics is a study of economy as a whole. Gross domestic product measures the total income of everyone in the economy. Gross domestic product also measures total expenditure on the economy's output of goods and services. Factors of production are inputs like labor, land, capital, and natural resources. Factor payments are payments to the factors of the production, like wages, rent, etc. Gross domestic product is the market value of all final goods and services produced within a country in a given period of time. Let's discuss a four components: consumption, investment, government purchases, net exports. All these components add up to gross domestic product. It's denoted by Y. Y equals to C plus I plus G plus NX. We can calculate this GDP by three methods. One of them is expenditure approach. It's a method of computing gross domestic product that measures the total amount spent on all final goods and services during a given period. Income approach. It's a method of computing GDP that means the income, wages, rent, interest, and profits received by all factors of production in producing final goods and services. The third is output approach, a method of computing gross domestic product from the output of each firm or supplier according to the sector or industry. Example: agriculture, manufacturing, services. Nominal GDP, its values output using current prices. It's not corrected for inflation. Real GDP, it values output using the prices of a base year. Real GDP is corrected for inflation. Let's go into deep into expenditure approach. There are four main categories of expenditure: personal consumption expenditures, household spending or consumer goods; gross private domestic investment, spending by firms and households on new capital, that is plant, equipment, inventory, and new residential structures; government consumption and gross investment; net exports, net spending by the rest of the world or exports minus imports. So GDP is C plus I plus G plus EX minus IM. Let's go into the income approach. The compensation of employees include wages, salaries, various supplements, employee contributions to social insurance, pension funds, for example, paid to households by firms and by the government. Proprietor's income, the income of unincorporated businesses. Rental income, the income received by property owners in form of rent. Corporate profits, the income of corporations. Net interest, the interest paid by the business. Let's go into output methods in a brief. Gross national product, exclusion of output produced abroad by domestically owned factors of production. GDP is the value of output produced by the factors of production located within a country. Gross national product, the total market values of all final goods and services produced within a given period by factors of production, owned by a country's citizen, regardless of where the output is produced. So GNP is the sum of GDP plus foreign capital inflow minus foreign capital outflow. The GDP deflator. The GDP deflator is a measure of overall level of prices. GDP deflator is nominal GDP by real GDP into 100. One way to measure economy's inflation rate is to compute the percentage increase in GDP deflator from one year to the next. Thank you.